The vast chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Ambassador Thexara of the Zalofi Dominion rose from her crystalline seat. Her 6 eyes fixed upon the lone human representative standing at the center of the circular hall, surrounded by delegates from 47 different star systems. "The motion has been seconded and carried," Thexara announced, her voice carrying the weight of millennia of galactic authority. "The primitive species known as humanity will submit to immediate subjugation under Council supervision. Their violent tendencies and reckless expansion pose a clear threat to galactic stability." Admiral Sarah Chen stood motionless in her crisp blue uniform, hands clasped behind her back. Around her, the alien delegates murmured in approval, some in languages that sounded like grinding metal, others in harmonic frequencies that made the translation devices hum with strain. "Furthermore," continued the Korthak representative, his massive bulk shifting as he spoke through his breathing apparatus, "the human homeworld will surrender all military assets and submit to immediate occupation by Council peacekeeping forces." The chamber's attention focused on the small human figure. Every delegate expected the same response they had received from dozens of other species over the centuries: reluctant acceptance, perhaps some futile bargaining, but ultimately submission to the Council's overwhelming might. Admiral Chen lifted her head. Her voice, when it came, was steady and clear. "No." The word echoed in the vast chamber, followed by absolute silence. Several delegates exchanged glances, their various sensory organs twitching in confusion. Thexara's primary eyes narrowed. "Perhaps your translation device malfunctioned, human. The Council has spoken. Compliance is not optional." "I heard you perfectly," Chen replied, "and my answer remains the same. No." A ripple of what might have been laughter came from the Cylonian delegation, if the sound they made could be called laughter. Their representative, a being resembling a massive jellyfish with glowing neural networks, pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. "The human amuses us," the Cylonian delegate translated through its device. "Surely you understand the futility of resistance? Your species controls a mere handful of star systems. The Council commands the loyalty of over 4,000 worlds." Admiral Chen's expression didn't change. "Numbers don't intimidate us. We've faced worse odds." "Impossible," scoffed the hegemony delegate, a reptilian creature whose scales shifted color with emotion. "What force could possibly challenge the combined might of the Council? We have crushed entire civilizations that thought themselves powerful." "You want to know what we've faced?" Chen asked quietly. "We've faced ourselves." She began walking slowly around the chamber's perimeter, her boots clicking against the polished floor. Every delegate tracked her movement with their various visual organs. "For thousands of years, humans fought each other with sticks and stones, then swords and arrows, then gunpowder and steel. We fought with machines that could level cities, then with weapons that could crack continents. We brought our own world to the brink of destruction multiple times." The chamber remained silent, but Chen could sense their attention sharpening. "We fought wars that lasted decades, wars that consumed entire generations. We've seen our cities burn, our civilizations collapse, our populations scattered. We've faced plagues that killed millions, natural disasters that reshaped our continents, and social upheavals that tore apart the very fabric of our societies." Her voice grew stronger as she continued her circuit. "And through it all we endured, we adapted, we survived. Not because we were the strongest or the smartest or the most advanced, but because we refused to give up. Because when faced with extinction, we looked it in the eye and said no." The Korthak delegate's breathing apparatus wheezed. "Your internal conflicts are irrelevant. You face the united force of the galaxy now." Chen stopped walking and faced the center of the chamber again. "That's where you're wrong. Those conflicts taught us something you've apparently forgotten. In your millennia of easy dominance, how to fight for our freedom, how to resist tyranny, how to turn every disadvantage into a weapon." She smiled then, and somehow that expression seemed more dangerous than any threat. "You see organized opposition and assume it means strength. We see organized opposition and see a target-rich environment. You move in formations and follow protocols. We excel at chaos. You have superior technology, but we have ingenuity born of desperation. You have overwhelming numbers, but we have something you've bred out of. Your subject species over centuries of submission. And what is that? Thexara asked, though her tone suggested she wasn't sure she wanted to know. Spite. The word hung in the air like a challenge. Pure, stubborn, unreasonable spite. The kind that makes a species keep fighting long after any rational analysis says they should surrender. The kind that turns every human into a potential insurgent, every human world into a potential fortress, every human ship into a potential missile. Admiral Chen's smile widened. You want to know what happens when you try to subjugate humanity? We'll show you what we learned from fighting each other for millennia. We'll turn your own size against you. We'll make every system you control a potential battleground. We'll teach your subject species what we learned a long time ago, that freedom is worth any price. The chamber erupted in angry chittering, growling, and harmonic protests. But Thexara raised a manipulator for silence. You realize, she said slowly, that we can simply destroy your species rather than subjugate it. Admiral Chen nodded. You could try, but we'll make sure the cost is so high that every other species in the galaxy will ask themselves a very dangerous question. If the Council is willing to commit genocide rather than allow freedom, what does that say about the gay Council? She straightened her uniform and prepared to leave. Humanity's answer to your demand is final. No, we will not submit. We will not surrender. We will not kneel. She paused at the chamber's exit. Come and take our freedom if you can. We'll be waiting. As the human ambassador disappeared through the doorway, the vast chamber fell silent once more. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council faced a species that looked at their overwhelming power and felt not fear, but anticipation. And across the galaxy, other subjugated species began to whisper a dangerous word they had almost forgotten. No.